And here in San Francisco, school board members are considering cutting $113 million next year. That's more than 20% of the district's budget. The reductions certainly hurt teachers and other employees, but what does it do to families? Joining us is Crystal Brown and Linda Schaefer, two PTA moms that are fighting back.
Thanks for having us.
Well, it's interesting. A lot of the politics of schools basically boils down to parental involvement. Now, at your school, let me ask you something. How many of the parents at your school are actually actively involved in the PTA?
Well, Phil, we have a lot of parents involved, but this is not about our school. We are here because we are outraged at what is going on in San Francisco. $113 million, you just said that. That's 25%.
It's not perhaps $113 million. It is at least $113 million that is being cut from schools that already have nothing. We're already at bare bones.
Right, and your group's idea now is to organize a town hall meeting, and you're going to talk to the politicians about these cuts. What are you going to say to them?
Well, it's not just the politicians. It's, it's business leaders, it's community leaders, it's the parents that are showing up. We're going to say, we're going to hold you accountable. It's time to take a stand. I mean, you've had them on your show. What are they telling you? We're not going to cut. They're cutting. They're doing it.
Okay, but they say they have no choice. That you just saw that report. Muni as well. Virtually every aspect of the state.
We are in a very tough situation in California. We're in a pickle.
Right.
And we got to get out of it. And we're not going to get out of it sitting at home.
So what are we going to do besides holding the politicians, quote unquote, accountable? You got any other ideas?
Yeah. We're going to bring parents out in November. We need private money. We need something to help us plug the gap right now this year in San Francisco.
Yeah, San Franciscans have to make a decision. Do we value education? Do we want a crime-ridden city with undereducated kids? What do we want here? But
San Francisco and a lot of the Bay Area has a very strong history in funding and making up for state funding one way or another in their budgets as long as they've had the money. Yeah, now, at the same time, and school funding has been on the rise. San Francisco is very proud of that fact. But if they don't have the money now, do we have any alternative way to come in with it? You said private sector. What are your ideas?
We're 20 miles from, the biggest venture capital center in the world.
Right.
Where is the support for the future education, the future workforce in San Francisco? Where is it?
Well, have you contacted business? That's what I'm at.
We have the head of the Chamber of Commerce coming. We've been meeting with the nonprofit sector, who does a lot of private funding. SF School Alliance, SF Ed Fund, they're all supporters of this event. We need them in the room, and we need to tell them what we need.
Okay.
So that is one idea.
Right.
And then perhaps a parcel tax. I mean, we passed one. The city was incredibly supportive, but maybe we need another one. It's not enough.
How does this affect families if these cuts go through?
It's devastating. It's catastrophic. And not just for families in San Francisco. This affects all of us in San Francisco. It's the whole community.
Yeah, and this outrage led to this town hall, so we're taking action. We're not going to sit back.
Okay, but for this to work, it's going to require more than just parents meeting with politicians in San Francisco. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, you are talking to people that go up in Sacramento. All right, so one of the key things for this all is parental involvement. And that's why I bring back to the idea of how many of the parents at your school are involved in PTA, because that's the grassroots. That's where it is.
Well, we had a meeting last week where over 40 schools had representatives, and they are emailing constantly. They are looking for leadership on this. I mean, in individual school sites, parents are doing what they can. Absolutely, but it's not just the parents that need to support this right now. It's the entire city that needs to come together. Parents are absolutely digging into their pockets, taking all of their time. Look, we're up. My kids are at someone else's house.
There are already substitute classroom teachers in the classroom with the teacher because we can't fund enough teachers in the school today.
They're volunteering. They're doing what they can, but they need more support now.
Well, like I said, the key to this, it's rather interesting. Everybody has an opinion on how the presidency is doing, and you talk about it, and this morning everybody will be talking it over coffee. They'll be talking over the Senate. But when it comes to something that affects them as much as school education, most parents and people out there don't even know who is on the Board of Education.
That's right.
And I think that you need to get more organization on the school level.
But you know what, I don't blame Carlos Garcia or the whole Board of Ed for this pickle we're in. I mean, everyone needs to take responsibility. You, me, and everyone else. That they're in a position where they're having to make decisions about how to cut. Let's give them the power to make decisions about how to best educate these kids. Not about how to eliminate programs. We're looking at 30 kids in kindergarten. We're looking at only having enough to fund the bare minimum at our school. We had a principal that came in that said, I have to lock my paper at night because we don't have enough. Another principal sitting right next to her said, we are deciding between PE and pencils and paper. I mean, come on. I mean, pencils and paper, there's a Staples on every corner in the city.
Okay.
So, Phil, what do you do when these politicians come on your show?
Well, we ask
How
them
are we
about
holding them accountable? And they say, we're not going to cut education, and they turn around the next day.
And then we organize and we pass another parcel tax. And then up in Sacramento, they said, well, they made up with the parcel tax, so we're off the hook. But anyway, what we need is a public education. And I say you need to have organization, you need to have activism.
That's right.
And that's why I suggest to everybody, think about going to this town hall meeting on Thursday, February 25th. It's from 6:30 to 8:30. You ought to be able to do that. Marina Middle School here in San Francisco,
And
for starters.
we'll
But I hope
there.
people do it in other towns as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Because
absolutely.
me talking with politicians is one thing, them getting in front of a room full of concerned parents is another.
That's right.
Thank you for being
Thank
concerned,
you
and
for
thank you
having
for
us.
being here. Lisa, to you.